Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is week 2 of the golf swing blueprint, which again, this is my opinion on the golf swing, and there's a lot of different ways to do this, an infinite number of ways actually. So when you're out here working, you're putting the work in, I want you to just remember that there's 1,000 million different ways of doing this. So you figure out how to do it on your own, but hopefully some of these tips give you guys a little bit of help. Um, Today we're gonna talk a little bit about why I use these alignment sticks and how I want you guys to start using them. So last week we discussed the waggle, how we want a stable club face, how we're going to build a grip around that stable club face so that when we release the club, it stays on plane. Okay, pretty simple stuff. If you haven't checked out the first video, it's called the Golf Swing Blueprint Part 1. Today we're going to take that stable club face and we're going to start aiming it, and we're going to allow our body to build our posture, our ball position, and our stance. So that's the goal for this week. Um, Again, like the idea is this is a process. So we start with the grip and the waggle. We work into ball position, stance, and posture. Then we'll start working on backswing, transition, forward swing, and balance and finish and all that good stuff. All right, so let's just get right into it. These two alignment sticks here, you've probably seen Tommy Fleetwood do it. A lot of different guys on tour do this, but I don't use it for the same purposes they do. And the reason for that being is because I found that it teaches me one specific thing, and I want you guys to learn that specific thing, which is club face alignment. Club face alignment and path are going to dictate how the ball flies, which we will get to later. But for today, for this next week, you guys are just going to work on club face awareness and club face alignment. All right. First thing we have to talk about a little bit, though, is ball position. So if most of you guys are playing modern clubs, which I would assume most of you are, ball position is going to be dictated by the club. You're going to play a progressive ball position. So if you're playing a wedge, you play back in the stance. If you're playing an 8-iron, 7-iron, 6-iron, play kind of center of the stance. And if you're playing a long iron, you're going to play it towards the front of the stance. So that's towards the front foot, which is the left foot for right-handed golfers and left foot for left-handed golfers. Again, it's varying degrees depending on how you set the club face, how you set the shaft angles, all these types of things, but we'll get into more depth on that later. So as you're setting this up, these two sticks should be perfectly parallel. Don't really worry too much about what your target is. The idea isn't so much target, hitting towards a target with this. It's more about just becoming aware of how to square where the club face is square at address, and where it's aiming so that you can set up properly once we get to the course. So eventually this is going to progress so that you learn not only how to do it here, but how to do it on the course without any thinking. So again, like everything that I've taught so far, it's intuitive and it's reactive. I don't like teaching in a fashion that makes people feel like they're thinking too much out here, because this game will ruin your mind. Okay, so notice here to set a golf club down. This is going to be kind of our ball position idea, like, so we know where our ball position is in our stance. We're just going to leave this down here. If you feel good about it, I want you to tee it up. If you think you're too good for tees, that's on you. But I want you to tee it up to about, just where it's floating above the grass, nothing crazy, because we are going to be hitting wedges. So you don't want to hit it, off the top of the face. That's no good. And what we're going to do is we're going to continue working the waggle. And once we get that club face nice and stable, right, guys? So boom, boom. Now it's nice and stable. Now we're going to go ahead and set up the club face so it's perfectly perpendicular to our two stakes. So if we were to draw a straight line through these stakes, it'd be right here. And what will happen is we're waggling, we'll start feeling the bottom arc of our swing, right? Boom. It's about right there. So if it's right here, we know that if we set up the club face here, square, towards our target, when we come through the strike, most likely it's going to be pointed at our target and go down that line. So again, it's 5 waggles. Set it up so you feel that good ball position. good stance, good posture, like you can hit it dead square, and then you swing. I don't want you guys to think too much about the swing. The idea is just let whatever natural waggle that's coming out is going to work for you for a while. So again, if in the past video I showed, if you feel like waggling it like this, no big deal, it doesn't matter. You'll just set up a little more square. The club face will be pointed. Now it's pointed at the target, but your stance is a little open. And then you're just going to swing. A little fade there. No big deal, right? So we leave the tee here so we don't have to move this stick. We just keep setting it back on the tee. No big deal. So this is an 8-iron. Again, we're going to give it 5 waggles. Stabilize the club face. Aim it perpendicular to our 2 stakes. We're going to feel that ball position. And then we're just going to swing. Pretty simple stuff. Okay? So for the next week, all I want you guys to do is work with these 2 alignment sticks as well as a ball position, cloth club, or alignment stick. For the more advanced players, your alignment sticks are going to be much closer together like so. For the less advanced players, I want you to have them a little wider apart so you don't feel like you're going to hit the stick. Okay? If you're feeling really, really good, it's going to be about a 1/4 inch wider than your club. Something like right there. So this is for the scratch players out there that really want to work on that club face alignment. All right? And again, we're not worried about where it's going. We're going to get into path, plane, body alignment, biomechanics of the release pattern, given your body alignment as we progress. So for this week, we're training club face alignment to our target. So definitely have a target out there, but don't worry if you hit it towards that target. Some of you guys are going to set up a little closed. Some of you are going to set up open. Some of you are going to struggle with getting that club face aligned and hitting it solid. But just work with it. Be patient. Next week, we get into how to hit it straighter and how to actually develop your golf swing, which again is the golf swing blueprint. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you continue watching, there will be a little bonus content that gives you a little more insight as to the next steps and how to refine this drill. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good week. See you next week. All right, so now we got the bonus content. For those of you that stuck around, thank you. This will help with a little bit of the detail-oriented folks on making this drill more effective. All right, so we've got our 2 sticks aligned, wide if you're a beginner, close for the better players. The closest you'll possibly want to be is about right there. This is for scratch players that are looking for a little more intuitive way to play golf, and anybody else that's maybe a sub 5 handicap. So again, we were talking about ball position, how it changes depending on the club you're hitting. So for this particular club, I have a 56 degree. The ball position is going to be slightly back of center of my stance. The reason for that being is because the forward shaft lean here and the offset, given the physics of the golf club, want to be released so that everything is going leftward. As you can see, when you stabilize the club face in your waggle, you get it right there, it then becomes more forward leaning, right, versus like backwards leaning, right? So with the forward leaning shaft, you have to set the ball up properly or you'll hit it thin or fat. And again, it just feels natural for us to do that, right? Just put it slightly back in the stance and hit a shot. If let's say now we move into a mid iron, like an 8-iron. When we waggle the club head and we stabilize the face, there's not near as much forward shaft length. Thus, far more center to the stance. So, as we waggle, we stabilize the club face. we set up, we now have the shaft pointing here versus with the wedge, it was a little more forward. Okay? Same thing, we get a stable club face, 5 waggles. We verify that this is set in the center of our stance versus forward or back in the stance, and then we swing. Beautiful. Okay? And as we go into higher clubs, we'll just grab a 3-wood here. You can just see the natural progression. And again, I will put up some pictures for you so you understand ball position a little better from a more intuitive standpoint. But the waggle should automatically do this for you, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the club face is stabilized. We square it to our 2 parallel lines. And notice the ball position naturally wants to be more forward, off pretty much the front inside left of my foot. And you just swing. Okay, guys, good luck with all this, and thanks again for watching the bonus content. Next week, we're going to take our club face alignment and learn how to start creating shots.